We are in London, England, and this is not the Starship Enterprise. This is the O2 Arena. In 2012, it will be the site of the Olympic basketball and gymnastics competition, but for the next few days, it will play host to 437 gymnasts from 72 countries. You're watching the 2009 World Gymnastics Championships presented by AT&T. That is a lineup of the top 6 all-around qualifiers in tonight's men's all-around finals, and they include 2 Americans, Tim McNeil and silver medalist Jonathan Horton, but noticeably missing, Tim Daggett, is that man right there on your right, Fabian Hambuchen, one of the favorites.
Yeah, in his last event of the formal training, he rolled his ankle on floor exercise, and he heard a pop, and right there and then he said, it's over.
A pop is not something you want to hear in the sport of gymnastics.
No, not at all.
And this man right here has got a golden opportunity. He finished 4th place at the 2007 World Championships in the all-around, finished in the top 10 in Beijing in the all-around. Is there going to be a better chance for this guy to stand on the awards podium for the all-around than right here? Definitely not.
And the other thing to note is the Chinese delegation, who they ruled the 08 Olympic Games. They sent nobody in the men's all-around. So this is definitely Jonathan Horton's greatest opportunity. Oh, that is disastrous. He's first up on floor exercise, first out of the box. He sits down. That will be a devastating 1 full point off.
I know the conversation we're going to have is, can he come back from that? But before that, how hard on your first trick of your first event, when you know you're contending, is it to make a mistake like that and try to come back?
Yeah, it is devastating. And John has always said that he likes being in the lead. He doesn't like chasing.
Well, he better learn to like it real quick.
This is going to be very challenging for John. It's just so demoralizing. Nice tucked Thomas, named after American great. Just to dismount, he'll do a double back with a full twist. And you know, besides the sit on the first pass, a good routine, not a great routine, but you just cannot erase 1 point deduction. That's huge.
We're going to see what Jonathan Horton's made of here in the next few events, whether he can come back from this disastrous start. What happened, Tim?
Well, basically, I think he had this. He just didn't hold on quite as long. You see, he lets go of his knees, doesn't have enough rotation. You land on your heels and you're flipping forward, you're going to end up sitting down, which is exactly what he did.
It looked like a violent sit down at that, too, especially in slow motion.
But as I said, the rest of the routine, not bad. And believe it or not,
score 13.775, and we saw him score much higher at the Visa Championships earlier this year than that. That's not good.
Not good.
We're going to see one of the hometown favorites, and I'm going to say a sentence I did not think I would be saying in my lifetime. Daniel Keating's from Great Britain, about to perform. One of the favorites to win a medal here at the World Championships in the all-around.
It's hard to believe. It's hard to believe. Great Britain, not a powerhouse in the sport of men's gymnastics, but this kid is a beautiful gymnast.
Finished 4th in the qualifying round coming into the all-around finals. Also finished a very high 2nd all-around at the European Championships earlier this year.
Oh, that hop out of bounds will cost him a deduction. If any part of his body touches red, like that was very close right there.
That was tight.
He will incur a deduction. But he's kind of Europe's kind of next big thing. He was the 2008 Junior European all-around champion, and he won a couple other events as well. That is a very big deal for European gymnastics, and certainly for this young man.
Only 19 years old.
And that is wild. He does that right into the corner. Doesn't need to take that many steps, but he's a daring young man.
Good thing he stuck the landing. Was that a good start for Daniel?
Very good for him. You know, it certainly doesn't hurt that he's also performing at home, and you can hear the crowd They have very, very high hopes for this young man.
That's a question I wanted to ask you. You know, you think home court advantage in any other sport, basketball and football, it's a huge advantage, but in gymnastics, is it something you want to have?
Well, it depends on the type of competitor you are. For me, I loved competing at home. You just got an extra juice from that you didn't get elsewise.
Worked out pretty well for you guys in 1984, I would say. There's the score, 14.25 for Daniel Keatings. A nice start.
It is. Long road, though. Men's gymnastics, 6 events.
Moving over to the pommel horse, this is Christian Thomas from Great Britain. Pommel horse, not maybe the best event to start on, especially because it's one of the lowest scoring.
Well, yeah, it can be very, very nerve-wracking for some people. And actually, this is great. Watch this. These are Russian skills done in the middle of the horse. He kind of copied that from his teammate, Daniel, who will do that and actually show it off a little bit more. He was actually the 2008 all-around champion. However, Keatings did not do all 6 events there. But a very good start, you know. Obviously, there were some form deductions throughout the exercise, but a good start.
And we're catching Tim McNeil here right in the middle of his floor team, but didn't want to miss it. Second all-around at the recent USA National Championships and finished very high coming into the all-around finals as well in 4th place.
Well, that he came into this competition as high as he did is just, I think, amazing. If you had asked either him or his coach, would it be possible to be sitting like this now, I think they'd kind of chuckle and say, stop joking around. But his coach, Barry Weiner from Cal Berkeley, said that I think that this is going to be a really good year for Tim. He told me that at the U.S. National Championships.
Ooh, that looked a little awkward on that landing.
Your body should move completely straight down the line. He actually twisted a little bit early, which made him travel sideways. Not a big deduction, though. A very standard dismount. You're going to see it a lot here. You have to finish in this new quadrennium, new code of points. You have to do a D dismount on all the events, and that may be the easiest D on floor.
13.6, not a great start for Christian Thomas, but could have been a lot worse had he fallen off.
No question about that.
Tim McNeil, a 14.5. How's that for Tim? I know not one of his best events.
Actually pretty good, you know. I don't think it could have come out any better than that.
Nikolaus Birchenstein from Switzerland getting ready to go on the vault.
He does a big handspring double front. Whoa. Very, very nice. And I'll tell you, this is really going to benefit Nicholas because starting off on vault, he's going to be in the top right off the bat after rotation 1.
Beautiful. Well, one of our favorites is down. Jonathan Horton struggling on the first rotation, but one of the favorites yet to come, the leader after day 1, Kohei Uchimura, coming up next.
The 2009 World Gymnastics Championships are being brought to you by AT&T, a proud sponsor of USA Gymnastics. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. By GK, the choice of champions. And by DGSGymSupply.com, your one-stop gymnastics supply shop.
John Roethlisberger, and this is AT&T Fanfare on Universal Sports. In men's gymnastics, they do 6 events, 2 of which, the vault and the floor, the women also do. Let's take a look at the other 4 events. That brings back such great memories. My favorite event is the high bar, but that brings me to the AT&T Fanfare text poll question. What's your favorite event? Text your vote and keep watching the World Championships on Universal Sports. All right, gymnastics fans, here's your opportunity. Get out those phones and your opportunity to text your answer to this question. What is your favorite men's only event? Is it A, the horizontal bar, B, the parallel bars, C, the pommel horse, or D, the rings? Tim, what's your favorite event?
Well, actually, for once in our lives, John, we agree. It's high bar, actually. horizontal bar.
It's the most exciting. Text A, B, C, or D to 8833 from your wireless phone from AT&T, or vote on universalsports.com. Now, is it your favorite to do or your favorite to watch?
Actually, it was both. And it's nowadays, wow, it is just an outrageous event. High flying.
Moving over to the floor exercise, and our first opportunity to see Maxim Deviatovsky from Russia, 25 years old, finished second place all-around, qualifying into tonight's all-around finals.
He was actually 6th all-around at the Olympic Games in Beijing, but somewhat of the Russian bad boy. He has had problems, but not there. Beautiful mount. He's had problems sometimes staying within the lines for Russian gymnastics. Was once expelled from the national team for walking out on the 2007 World Championships.
I imagine the lines for Russian gymnastics are pretty tight, though.
They are.
They run a tight ship over there.
The Russians truly are trying to revive their program. It has really fallen off quite a bit in the past few years. They've made a lot of changes, brought a lot of coaches back into the system that had left and started coaching at other places around the world. But so far, this is a great job for Maxim. One of his worst qualities is he is very inconsistent. You never seem to get a full competition out of him. Well, you got a full floor X out of him right there.
He did what Jonathan Horton couldn't do, and get out there and hit that first routine clean. Might not have been a home run, but it certainly keeps you in the game.
It certainly does. And you heard that whistle right before he dismounted. That rings at 60 seconds. You have a total of 70 to finish your floor exercise routine. But this is, boy, did he ever pull that around.
A little low.
They were low.
Привет, семье, Ленинск.
Tim, can you translate?
Болейте за меня.
Yeah. No.
Negative. 15.0, so not quite what he scored in prelims. He scored a 15.15, but a good start for Maxim.
Yeah, you never know. You really can't compare scores from one day to the next. The judges are different, and you know it could mean nothing. But this guy right here,
probably the biggest surprise of the 2008 Olympic Games when he won the bronze medal in this event. A big reason why.
And this is going to be huge. I think he'll be the leader after round one because of that. Look at that.
And look at the cast he's got on his left foot. I don't know what's wrong with him, but
well,
amazing.
if you did that vault, you'd have more than that on your leg, John, and so would I.
I think I'd have something on my head.
This is a Sukahara double pike, but he'll flip his body 3 times around, and somehow he finds the ground. Just a big step. It'll be 0.3 of a point on that step, but
16.025, biggest score we've seen tonight.
Ginormous number, and most likely, I would guess, he will be the leader at the completion of round one.
This is our #1 qualifier from day one, and the silver medalist from the 2008 Beijing Olympic Games, Kohei Uchimura.
Not just a great gymnast, he has such finesse when he performs. In 2008, I said, look at it right there. This is the future of gymnastics. What you're supposed to do when you do this sport is do tough stuff like that and make it look easy. And he does that on 6 events. He is so smooth and doesn't ever panic. Like other guys, when they land a little bit off, they start hopping, moving their body around. He's patient, he takes his time, and he finds his balance without those ugly adjustments. And this routine is just jam-packed. The rules support guys just going out there and doing more stuff. He does this beautiful triple twist. Watch this. Oh.
Drops out of that.
He is a fantastic talent. So this is a 1.5 twisting, 1 3/4 somersault, actually named after American great Kurt Thomas.
15.625 for Kohei Uchimura. Nice start for the Japanese gymnast, only 20 years old. A lot of great gymnastics for him yet to come. And two of our medalists from Beijing look sharp after rotation 1. We'll see if they can keep it rolling in rotation 2. Welcome back to the O2 Arena, and this is what the standings look like after one rotation. And I guess the question is, what can we really gather from this, Tim? Are they meaningful at this point at all?
Well, it's a long race. This is 1/6 of the competition, so anything can happen from this point on.
I think noticeably Jonathan Horton, 19th, certainly not where he wants to start after one of his better events. And also, you didn't see him on there. Kohei Uchimura is in 3rd place after that outstanding floor routine. Daniel Keating's had a nice start on floor exercise and moving to the pommel horse, one of his best events, although on day 1 of competition he did fall from the pommel horse.
I think this is his best event, and he'll show us that same move that his countryman did, but he'll do it a little later in his exercise. Watch, he starts to a handstand, done beautifully. Very nice 1 pommel work. This gives you a lot of points. And this is where it happens. Look at how quick his hands go, and finding all leather. Amazing. And not clipping your fingers on the pommels, that is very difficult to pull off, I'll tell you.
Or clipping your kneecap on the pommel. Very tight.
He is not a stranger to the podium for this event, and he is showing us why right here. Just get off. Great. Not good, great exercise.
Tim, how important is that? You mentioned this is his best event, and as a gymnast, you kind of know there's an event where you have a chance to catch the field. And how much pressure and how important was that hit that he did right there?
Well, it's gigantic, and, you know, from what we're seeing from him, he's a young kid, you know, but he is showing that he can deal with the pressure. You know, we have had so many tremendous gymnasts throughout the years that are great in practice, but they don't score you in the gym. They do it at meets like this.
Come on, Chris. Christian Thomas, his teammate, just right next door to the pommel horse, getting ready to go on the still rings. Quite the patriotic uniform he's got going on.
It's a little bright. Big guy. Great Britain actually only qualified 2 gymnasts to the Olympic Games. Keatings was one of them. But this young man was 57th in the all-around at the 2007 World Championship, so he will definitely improve his world ranking. Had a good start. Anytime you get through pommel horse and you can go to rings saying you've had no falls, it's a good day. But you know, rings is all about strength, and his height, he says, gives him an advantage, he thinks, on floor exercise and vaulting. But on an event like rings, it is a liability. Those extra pounds make those strength parts a little harder. But boy, there you go. Gymnastics 101, stick the landing.
It might not have had all the bells and whistles, but he did what he did clean. I guess that's what his game plan was.
Going to keep him in the running, but he's going to make it up in other places as well.
Daniel Keating adds a 15.5 to that 14.25 in the first rotation, currently in first, but obviously a lot more gymnasts to go in this rotation. Go, Tim. The Cal Bear, Tim McNeil, trying to build on that great floor routine, and Tim, one of his best events, the pommel horse.
Yeah, this is. Pommel horse and parallel bars kind of equal. He's won numerous national titles on those 2 events. I think he likes this one the best, though. And watch right here, a full spin on 1 arm. Super difficult. His coach, Barry Weiner, told me before the U.S. Nationals he had hit 40 for 40 sets in preparation for those championships. And the first day, he fell on pommel horse. It was 40 for 41.
Every once in a while, gymnastics reminds you gymnastics is in charge.
Yeah. And this is a fantastic job by Tim McNeil. He came into this round in 9th place, and that, I believe, will move him up.
He's been an NCAA champion on pommel horse. a couple of times for the University of California, Berkeley. Christian Thomas, 14.575 on rings. And for a routine that doesn't have a lot of difficulty, Tim, that's a pretty darn good score.
Not bad. Not bad. He's hanging in there.
And this is our first opportunity to see the other Russian in tonight's competition, Yuri Razanov. Didn't finish extremely high in the prelims, but again, anything can happen.
Yeah, that's for sure. And this guy has everything he needs to really be a great gymnast and to consistently finish near the top. But the consistency, like his teammate Deviatovsky, has been his biggest weakness. You don't typically see a gymnast struggle with consistency on the still ring, so that's not going to be a problem. But on some of the other events, parallel bars, high bar, I've seen him be looking so great and just not get the job done.
He, like Christian Thomas, started on pommel horse in the first event, and he's only sitting in 21st place, so wants to build on that.
I think he will with this. He's got some big events coming up where he can really bring in some serious points. But that was a very steady routine. He's got 2 done. So these are those strength parts that when you're a little bigger, like this guy or our last gymnast, Christian Thomas, they are oh so much more difficult to hold.
Tim McNeil, a 15.0, huge pommel horse score, puts him in 3rd place currently in second rotation.
Yeah, he's just got to take it one event at a time.
Is he a guy that needs help, do you think, Tim? If he just hits his gymnastics the way he's capable of, can he make it onto that podium, or does he need some of those key players to give him a little room, a little crack in the door?
Yeah, I would have to say that some of the top guys are going to have to make mistakes for him to certainly have a shot at medaling. But what a tremendous experience this has already been for Tim McNeil.
The other Russian, Deviatovsky, starts on pommel horse.
His one pommel work. It's all about balance. Wherever his feet are, his shoulders should be at the exact opposite place. If your feet are in front, shoulders need to be in back, and he is off balance, gets it back on track. You saw the separation of the legs, but this is a difficult exercise, a long routine. And the longer he goes, the sloppier it gets. Oh. And
fighter. He is a fighter.
Yeah, he's a fighter, but that dismount should be a significant deduction. Supposed to show swing on that element, fly up to the handstand. He actually stopped his upward movement. If they wanted to, they could actually take the move away from him, which would be disastrous.
Yuri's score 14.825. Again, very good score. Amongst the all-arounders competing tonight, that score is one of the higher ones. Looks like Maxim got some ailments. He's got something going on his right hand. He's got a coach working on his left arm, and he better get it together because Rings is waiting for him next. 13.425, not good.
Yeah, that's going to hurt. And we said it at the top of the show. He is a gymnast that also battles with inconsistency.
And while that was going on, Benoit Caranove was performing on the parallel bars, and not such a great performance for him.
Yeah, you know, it was like he was 3rd in Beijing, and he, the French delegation, and everybody else in the arena was shocked. And since that point, he really hasn't been able to put together another good meet. He just slips on that giant swing, loses his grip, falls off to the side, and that is a very big deduction. Going down, it looks fine. He just fumbles his hand, and he comes off 1 point off. Ouch.
So unfortunately for Benoit Caranove, it looks like another journey to the podium is not going to happen. 13.0. Devastating for him. When we come back, we will have more from Rotation 2 and Kohei Uchimura.
Inc.
Welcome back to the 2009 World Gymnastics Championships presented by AT&T. That man right there currently sits in 3rd place. Kohei Uchimura begins his 2nd event, the pommel horse.
And if there's a word that I could use to describe him on this event, And it's very unusual for this event. It's calm. He just looks so calm. Doesn't rush at all. Watch when he gets onto one pommel right here. He's not going slow, but he takes his time. Beautiful combination. Travel all the way across the horse. In Russians. Wow, this has been phenomenal. And no matter who you are, pommel horse is always one you like having out of the way. I tell you, it's really, at this point, it is so his world championships to win. If he just goes through the competition, he's your champ. But he's got 4 more events, 2 done, almost flawlessly.
Taking a look at his hands, but the thing that really strikes me about him, Tim, watching him perform, is his feet. I don't think they ever come apart. They are just so tight and so together and so pointed. It's amazing.
Long line of Japanese tradition in gymnastics, and he is taking over finally. He'll do a great job. He's phenomenal.
Nikolai Burschenstein from Switzerland getting ready to go. We saw his great vault in rotation 1, which vaulted him near the top of the standings, but can he hold on to him on the parallel bars?
You know, he's good here, but really when you start off on an event like that and you're way near the top, it helps a lot. Mitch Gaylord used to say that it was the most important thing was for the judges to hear your name at the top at the start of the meet, and he's got that going for him, that's for sure. He'll transition into the middle. That skill called a to pelt. And a nice double pike dismount. Not as loaded of a set as you'll see from some of the other competitors.
Nikolai only qualified in 22nd place, so to be up there near the top is a good situation for him, much improved.
And it's been a long drought for Switzerland. They actually had a gold medalist on pommel horse, a transplant from China, Li Donghua, who won a gold on pommel horse in 1996.
14.625, that's the first, one of the first scores we've seen on P-bars. Is that good? Is that going to help him win, keep in the same place?
It's going to keep him there.
Uchimura, 14.9 on the other hand for pommel horse, a great score.
A great score, but you know, surprisingly, a little lower than I thought. He is what we call a little bit skewed. His body isn't perfectly straight when traveling the horse, but
our first opportunity to see Mykola Kuksenkov from the Ukraine, 20 years old, from Kiev.
And talking about Ukraine, they were once such a powerhouse, had so many tremendous champions. Igor Korobchinsky, world champion in the all-around. They were shocked in 2007 when at the World Championships they finished 13th and only 12 teams advanced to the Olympic Games. It was disastrous for them. But this very nice, very clean set.
And incidentally, for those wondering, this World Championship's only an individual event World Championships and all around, so no team competition. That'll have to wait till next year.
But what?
Sergio Munoz from Spain, getting ready to go on the parallel bars. 20 years old, hometown is Madrid. He's a member of the 2006, 2007 World Teams as well as the 2008 Olympic team.
And he was 21st in the all-around coming in here. The top 24 are competing. He wasn't just a member of that Spanish Olympic team, but he was the youngest member, so they're looking for big things for him in the future. And wow, I don't even know what that was supposed to be there, John.
He managed to stay on, which I think is an accomplishment in itself.
Yeah. Doesn't have the best body line, doesn't have the best rhythm, and his feet are not very good. Should have a nice clean line that ends in a toe point, and definitely needs to work on that, but I don't know how he was you see him shaking his head right there. Here is his dismount, but midway through that routine, he did a skill called a Diamondov, and it kind of all went wrong, and somehow he was able to get both hands on the bar and keep it going.
13.1 is definitely going to hurt his early standings after rotation, one of second place, but he did start on vault, as you can see, and scored very high, but he's going to be dropping. There's Kuksenkov from Ukraine, getting ready to go on the still rings here in a few moments, waiting for his score on the pommel horse. And it is a 14.6. Now, help me out, Tim, a little bit. We saw Kohei's score of a 14.9. It seemed a lot better than that, and they're pretty close.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. But this is a gigantic moment right here for Jonathan Horton out of the box. He had that fall. And this is the event that John has struggled on virtually his whole career. And you know what, he doesn't swing that bad on pommel horses. You and I were talking about, John, but he says when he gets in a hole on horse, it doesn't matter. He cannot fix it like on the other events.
And now the pressure's on because he has to hit this one.
Already a little bit off, and wow.
You know, you said he was a little bit off, but honestly, Tim, it looked fairly simple, and he looked like he was on, I thought.
On his more, I thought his shoulders got a little bit off balance and just made him a little, see that hand placement is a little quick, and he is so off balance. His shoulders are completely over the end of the horse instead of being somewhere near the middle. He just does the skill perfectly without a problem. But remember, a fall in gymnastics now is 1 full point. Too bad, because he really can do this event. The door was open with Fabian Hambuchen out of the competition. And here, this is a huge deduction. His body needs to continue his upward momentum, and it actually went up and came down, which is just as good as another fall. And he is going to fall even further in the standings, and
we hope
his all-around quest, I would say, at this point, it's over.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. You know, after one rotation having a miss, we've seen guys miss and still make it on the podium, but this is just too much.
Now with this routine right here, he is going to be somewhere in the 11-point range, and when guys are in the 15s, no good.
Well, it appears that the quest for Jonathan Horton's all-around medal is going to have to come at a later date, but there's another American, Tim McNeil, who has a shot, and we'll see him in a few moments. Don't go away.
If you
Welcome back to the O2 Arena. You're looking at Jonathan Horton, and he almost got scored on the old 10-point scale system there, Tim. 11.1. Yikes.
Yikes is right, and that puts him 24th out of 24.
And a hole he will not get out of, unfortunately. And there's a look at the standings, and as many expected, Kohei Uchimura is starting to get that lead, and I have a feeling he might start extending that. Tim McNeil still in the mix, though, in 5th place.
Yeah, he's doing a nice job, and you know, this event he's actually gotten a lot better on, but it's not a strong event for him. Where he's struggled has been the strength parts, being held long enough and having perfect positions, but he really has improved quite a bit on this event. And what's been so important for Tim McNeil, so I asked Barry, is he healthy? Because he has battled so many injuries throughout his career, and he says for Tim, he's healthy now.
And that was Barry Wiener hoisting him up to the rings there as coach.
And the positions are held. This one very nice and held for long enough. Some of them are a little bit questionable. Waiting for his swing to be right. And that first swing element, I don't know. I think he was hoping that it would be evaluated as a laid out Yamawaki. He did a piked one right after it, and there's a tuck one. I don't know if his body bends in his hips, which it certainly did. He's not going to get it. But a good job for Timothy. As we said, he has really improved on this event, come a long way. Never been one of those brutishly strong guys.
Well, among the all-around finalists, he actually scored one of the highest scores coming in tonight, close to a 15, which on rings is pretty good. Just take a look at Christian Thomas. Getting prepared to go on the vault.
And I'll tell you, the British, they just look so emboldened by being at home, and it's a lot more than being at home at a World Championships. It's being at home at a World Championships in the arena where the Olympic Games and all of their dreams will come true. Huge, huge moment for both of these guys. Wow. And he says his height helps him on floor and vault. And I would concur. Beautiful, beautiful job on a 2.5 twisting. Laid out Yurchenko. Watch, he'll turn himself around on the board, do a round off, and then leave the horse, do a flip and a half with 2.5 twists. Very clean, just a step on the landing.
Christian only 21st place coming into this third rotation, but I imagine this vault right here being the highest scoring event and a very nice vault is going to bode very well for him moving up.
He's going to jump in the standings. He's just not going to move. He's going to jump.
Tim, I want you to give us the lowdown. There's the score, 15.8. Very nice. Give us the lowdown on that landing strip that we saw from above there. It seems like they add a line every 4 years.
Yeah.
Pretty soon you're going to have to land in a little box or a little dot.
Well, actually, they have it set for both men and women out there, and that center line really doesn't apply to the men. It only applies to the women. If he lands outside of the two main line, he's fine.
So 14.35 for Tim McNeil, not quite what he did in prelims. What do you think was the difference? Where'd they nail him?
Well, I definitely think that skill that he did in the middle of his routine was not evaluated as he thought it was. And, you know, some of the positions aren't exactly precise.
Here's Maxim Deviatovsky. We saw him battle it out on the pommel horse, managed to stay on and fight through. Is this going to be an event where he can start to make a climb?
Well, he's actually pretty good on rings. And if you're strong and you go to rings, it's usually the event where you can almost take a breath. You physically have to work very, very hard, but few gymnasts fall off the rings. So, like I said, a nice back roll up to what's called a Maltese.
His elbows don't look like they feel too good when he does that.
Yeah. It's funny, there are some gymnasts that their elbows, when they get in certain positions, they look like they are just bent in wrong ways, like his do right there. Nice press to a handstand. Doesn't really get much for that, but it's very nice. Much more difficult than you'll see from most of the other gymnasts who just kind of pass it by. He's been pretty still on rings as well, which obviously still rings, but not a still landing right there. Good job, though. Good job. Gonna move him up. He struggled, as we said, on his last event, pommel horse, but that is a very solid still rings routine for Deviatovsky.
We've seen a few of those full twisting double layouts, and quite honestly, they've looked kind of like pike full twisting doubles, and that, you know, I'm wondering when they're going to start taking that value from them.
Yeah, you know what? It really doesn't look like they're going to. It looks like they take 1/10 of a point when it really should be, and they did. They obviously gave him the dismount right there. Good score.
And a 15.075, a great score in the all-around competition on the still rings. Moves him up to 5th place.
Come up.
And here's our current leader, Kohei Uchimura, trying to follow in the long line of great Japanese all-around champions. The last to win a world all-around championship was Hiroyuki Tomita in 2005. We'll see if he can do it here today.
It's funny. You see, he just looked over to his right. That was very surprising.
Must have a fan over there.
So once again, he takes his time with all of his gymnastics. Beautiful position, Maltese. And what he does well is he doesn't just hold the strength parts for the required amount of time, but he really does make them look easy. Once again, it's the essence of gymnastics. Do the tough stuff and keep it beautiful. This strength part, the iron cross, a little bit high. will be at least a 1/10 of a point off, but I'll tell you, he doesn't give you many opportunities to put pencil to paper and scratch some execution errors from you. Double twisting double. Very nice job. That's that small little hop. That'll be just a 1/10 of a point.
There's his coach, Yoshiaki Hatakeda, who I had the pleasure of, well, not always a pleasure because he usually beat me, but I competed against him a few times in the 1996 Olympic Games.
These are these swinging skills. They're called Yamawakis. They're kind of double flips while you're holding onto the rings. And this is my only criticism, really, in the whole routine. This cross is a little bit high.
And that's got to be one of his easier strength moves, so to be high on that, not good. 15.225, outstanding. Highest score we've seen on rings so far. George Hugo Geraldo Lopez. If you got 4 names, you better be good.
I actually saw this guy a long time ago, 2000. We were covering the American Cup, and he was a young boy, and I thought, wow, this kid is quick, he's fast, has a tremendous gymnastics future.
He's from Colombia.
He was actually one of the wild cards for the Olympic Games. Beautiful skill right there. Very difficult and very uncommon. The FIG chooses 4 men to compete in the Olympics, and they usually try to do it by underrepresented regions of the world, and being from Colombia and also being a very good gymnast, he fit the bill.
He was in 8th place after the second rotation, Tim. That looked like a great parallel bar routine. Would imagine that's going to keep him there, possibly even move him up.
Very clean.
A 2004 and a 2008 Olympic team member from Medellin, Colombia. 30 years old, one of the older competitors tonight in tonight's all-around finals. And this man, a little bit of a surprise, I think it's fair to say, from Switzerland, Nicola Burschenstein, getting ready for his 3rd event. And I would have been shocked to say he's in 2nd place when we started this competition. But currently he's in the mix.
Well, every male gymnast in the country knows about Switzerland, but the thing they know about is the grips they wear on high bar and rings. The vast majority of gymnasts throughout the world perform with Rice Sport Swiss grips. This Swiss gymnast has the nerve to wear German grips.
Well, the German did win the 2007 World High Bar title, so maybe he's going for a little bit of that vibe here.
A little bit crooked on that. Well, that was a Kovacs, and 10, 12 years ago, doing it like that was fine, but you've got to be clean on a Kovacs, just like a Jam or anything else. It's very interesting. A Russian giant. They devalued a skill incorrectly on my part, by my account, the FIG, but he made it work.
Maybe not the prettiest, but he stayed on, and he had a little juice in there, a little difficulty.
Yeah, those are the same grips, I think, that Fabian Hambuchen, who's out with an injury, that ruptured tendon prior to competition. These are the same grips he uses. He is the reigning world champion on high bar. He will not continue that. But you see, just not good form on that Kovacs, the double flip over the bar. Difficult, but people are doing far more, as we'll see, especially from Uchimura coming up.
Is that a routine that's going to help him win, keep him in the same spot, or possibly drop him down?
I think it might even drop him down just a little bit.
14.1. Currently in 2nd, that's where he started the rotation, but obviously there's still some gymnasts to go. But all in all, I'd have to say a pretty good showing for the Swiss so far. There's Daniel Keating's the best hope for Great Britain here at the 2009 World Championships. Currently sitting in 3rd place after 2 rotations. How's this event for him, Tim?
It's not one of his strongest events, certainly. If you just look at him, if you don't have this, if you don't see bulging huge muscles, then still rings is not going to be a great event. It can be okay, but it's not going to be great. Starts off with a very nice kip cross. That's only valued at a C, though. as is this. So he's done 2 C strength moves, whereas the top guys are doing D and E strength parts, which obviously give them a higher starting score.
Daniel's score of 14.25 is what he got in the prelims on rings. Obviously, he's not going to hang with the big dogs like Kohei.
But he's going to hang in there. He knows that this isn't his best event, and he's just got to be clean. Don't have a disaster. Very nice job. And of course, without Hambukin in the competition and no representation, still can't get over that from China in the all-around championships here. It could be pretty exciting for this young man right here at home.
I want to know why, Tim. I mean, the Chinese are so dominant in Beijing. It's kind of odd.
It is very, very odd. You just, every time you think you have the Chinese figured out, they do something that you just couldn't even imagine.
Because they obviously certainly could be in the mix here at this World Championships. When we come back, we're going to have that man's ring score, and we will continue competition after the 3rd rotation. Gymnastics fans, let's get a little update on our AT&T Fanfare text poll. Make sure you guys don't put away those phones. Keep voting. What is your favorite men's only event? And Tim, they're right in line with us. The horizontal bar, 58%. And I have to say they're right in line with my least favorite event, the parallel bars, too, at 8%.
Yeah, I actually like P-bars, but I need my iPhone. I got to vote again. Where is it? You took it.
Sorry, man. I like the black iPhone that you have. Text your answer to the question, A, B, C, or D, to 8833 from your wireless AT&T phone, or vote on universalsports.com. Come on, gymnastics fans. Don't stop voting. Get out there and get those mobile devices out and get them working. Daniel Keating's 14.2 on the still rings. Good score, Tim?
It's not a good score, but it's good for Daniel Keating's, and it'll keep him in the race.
Tim McNeil getting ready to warm up the vault in his 4th event. 3 rotations down. Your opinion so far on how things have gone to course, or any surprises?
For Tim, absolutely phenomenal. He couldn't have a better World Championships experience. He came in 3rd after qualifying, which is astounding, and he's holding his own today.
Kohei Uchimura extends his lead, and there's Tim McNeil sitting in 9th place right now. Jonathan Horton, unfortunately, still trying to dig out of that basement, but a lot of gymnastics left. I'd say George Geraldo Lopez, a little bit of a surprise in 2nd place, but he's done vault, which skews the results a little bit.
It does. You got to remember that. And some guys that are weak on pommel horse, if they've gone, they oftentimes are near the bottom of the standings, but getting a vault out of the way early going, it really helps.
And incidentally, the 5 of the top 6 guys after the first rotation were all vaulters except for Kohei, which is a testament to how good he was on floor. And this guy, Yuri Razanov, getting ready to go on parallel bars.
He does big P-bars. I like his exercise. He actually claims that his hero, his idol, is one of the greatest of all time, Alexei Nemov. Russia desperately trying to get back to the point where they had gymnasts like Nemov, just tremendous talent. This guy does huge gymnastics, as you see. Those are just devastating on your arms, constantly crashing down on him. He used to wear pads on his arms. Pads don't work. Nothing works. It's gonna hurt. You just get used to it. Beautiful.
We have not seen a lot of stuck dismounts.
I think that is the first stuck dismount we've seen all day long.
And here's the man. He fashions his hair after the Beatles, I do believe. Kohei Uchimura standing in 1st place currently.
We got a few pretty bizarre haircuts out here, I'd have to say. He'll also do that half turn onto the board. Oh. Now, you know what's going to make me mad is the score's going to come in, and they're going to find these deductions that I just have no idea where they are. Because, yes, he took a hop, and in my opinion, it was small enough to be a 1/10 hop. But let's look at his form. Those legs together, is he in the middle? Where are they going to get the deductions, John?
There's got to be something. Let's check out this angle, Tim. Come on.
Perfectly pasted together legs, toes, and the smallest tiny little hop.
And that's slow motion. So if you're going to see something, if there is anything, you're going to see it. So this should be, and what does this start from, a 16.6?
It does, 16.6.
What's
so
your score?
My score would be a 16.5. He's not going to get that, but.
Tim Daggett called the FIG 16.05. They found almost, some judge found 0.6 off on that.
Yeah, which is just wrong. It's wrong. You know, sometimes the judges, they feel like they are smarter and better at it if they can find deductions. It's really a little bit infuriating, and I think that is what caused the end of the 10-0 point system, because they wouldn't give a great routine its due.
14.925 on parallel bars. Great score there. Tim, do you think that so few gymnasts do it perfect like him that the judges are so conditioned to find 4, 5, 6, 7 tenths off that they literally can't write one down?
Yeah, but that's their job, you know. They just gotta watch the gymnastics. If we were sitting in a living room with that judging panel, man, I'd be all over them, and I know you would too. You'd be so where?
Yeah.
Where did you find these things?
Here's Lopez from Colombia, currently again sitting in. But now he's going to get tested on the high bar.
Not one of his absolute best events. He started off with what's considered a weaker release skill, but this, I mentioned him earlier, that is a Gaylord 2, named after Olympic gold medalist Mitch Gaylord.
Your teammate would be proud. You don't see too many of those anymore.
No, yeah, you don't. It's very hard to work out of, and I think it's just harder. That right there, though, he totally missed that handstand on that straddle element. Like that one, very nicely done. But that should be a very large deduction. He does a non-traditional tap for nowadays, doesn't do those big changing body positions. A good routine, though.
His score in prelims was a 13.925. If he scores in that range again, he most certainly is going to fall out of that second place position. And the hometown kid, Daniel Keating's on vault.
Nice and clean.
All right, Tim, for everybody at home, let's go for that execution score again. I don't think as clean as Uchimura's vault, but let's see how the
They're
judges
going to find a lot. And I'll tell you right there, right off the top, when you do this style vault, that's why it's not as popular, your legs are usually going to split from the board to the horse. You'll see it right here. As he reaches, his legs are apart right there. But after that, beautiful body position, nice landing, just a small hop, and then don't take that extra step. That's another 10th, you know?
Start value on this vault, Tim?
Start value on this vault is a 16.2.
So let's see what the judges do with it. And a 15.45. So more execution deductions, but certainly not as much separation as you might think between the vault that Uchimura did and the vault that Keatings just did.
Yeah, no question.
But for this young man, the dream continues. He's still in the mix for that all-around medal. And for this guy, 14.15, don't know that his dream is going to come true, but certainly being in the mix has got to be pretty exciting for him. Another look at, our first look rather, at the other Japanese competitor in the all-around competition, Kazuhito Tanaka.
And a great place to see him because he is fantastic. A peach full turn. This routine is just jam-packed.
He says this is his best event.
And he's not over. He's got a lot more planned. There are just some teams, countries around the world that just are so tremendous on certain events. And Japan and parallel bars goes extremely well together.
After the first event tonight, he was in dead last, and now he's moved all the way up to 10th.
Beautiful double pike. Step on the landing, but one of the absolute best routines of the night right there.
it seems like the whole Japanese team on parallel bars has been dominant over the years.
Look at how tight he gets in on that pike. His knees right up against his nose. Beautiful position.
15.075, moving up to 5th. So he is climbing, making himself a contender, whereas in the beginning of the evening, it looked like it would be anything but for Tanaka. One of the other stars of the British team, Christian Thomas, getting ready to go on the parallel bars. Not quite in the mix like his teammate is, Keatings, but certainly not out of the mix. Might need a little bit of help. He's down there in 7th position right now, but
not bad.
Done with vault, which is a high-scoring event for him, so it's going to be a battle.
He says all of his success is because of one thing, his consistent and constant hard work in the gym. That's what gets it done. You see him take a step with his hands. That also is a deduction. Watch this release skill. Parallel bars can really take a toll on the body, especially nowadays.
How does that height affect him that he likes on vault? Does it help him on P-bars?
He likes it on vault, but he doesn't like it here. It takes so much longer, and you see little adjustments like that. Should have been done in his shoulders, not his elbows, which would have been no deduction, but that was at least 1/10 of a point for that little tiny arm bend. But I tell you, he's dealing with it. He is dealing with it.
So not out of the mix, not in the top 3, but where's that going to put him? Is that going to move him up, stay the same, drop him down?
He's going to be right around where he has been. I think he's going to stay close to that. And I'll tell you, he's got a lot to be proud of. Remember, the last time he walked out in a World Championships, he was 57th.
Ooh, a 13.975. So they obviously saw some of those mistakes you saw, Tim. And just moments ago, Tim McNeil performing on the vault. Not one of his best events?
No, certainly not. He does that half turn onto the board. Now, there are deductions you can see here. Obviously, his body position in the air. Let's look at his form first as he goes onto the table. Not bad, but certainly not picture perfect. And he lands with his chest down. That's going to be a significant deduction as well, in addition to the hop. But he knew he wasn't going to win any awards on vaulting here at the World Championships.
But a 15.3, not a bad score, moves him up to 3rd place. Was in 9th coming into this rotation. After 4 rotations, again, the leader is just stretching it out there, 2.4. Tim McNeil up to 3rd place.
Yeah, a huge jump for Tim McNeil.
That's the man right there. He is trying to continue the Japanese legend of all-around champions, Kohei Uchimura. We'll see him in rotation 5 in a few moments. Don't go away.
Hey everybody, I'm Alicia Sacamone, and this is AT&T Fanfare on Universal Sports. I'm going to show some fans some video clips on my mobile phone from AT&T. I have a tumbling pass on beam and one on floor to see if fans can name that tumbling pass. Hey everyone, I'm here with
Hannah Hinky.
and I'm going to see if Hannah can name that tumbling pass.
Back handspring, double pipe.
Nice.
Can I watch it again?
Yeah, I'll watch it again.
Back handspring, double pipe.
Samantha Peshek, my teammate from the 2008 Olympics. What is she doing right there?
Front handspring, front full, front double.
Yeah, you got it. If you didn't get that, I would probably have to disown you as a friend.
I am a gymnast. Weird.
Full twisting, front flip with the double full.
Yeah.
All right.
Front handspring, full face, double full.
Yeah, good job. That's going to do it for another edition of AT&T Fanfare on Universal Sports. AT&T is a proud sponsor of USA Gymnastics.
If you
Welcome back, gymnastics fans, to the 2009 World Gymnastics Championships presented by AT&T. Kohei Uchimura has a commanding lead of this all-around finals, and he is about to go up on his best event. I'm John Roethlisberger, joined by Olympic gold medalist Tim Daggett.
And this routine, just when you think it's just about wrapping up, he's only about halfway through. Beautiful, as I keep saying, beautiful form everywhere in his gymnastics, and very uncharacteristic, that step forward. Watch this here. Oh! Does it just about as well as anyone. Kicks out of that set, and that is a very large deduction. The first mistake we have seen from Uchimura all day. He did what's called an intermediate swing.
What are they going to hit him for that?
That's going to be 0.5 of a point, and like I said, when you think this routine should be toning down, he still keeps going. That's a shame. It's not going to get the score that it could have, but it's certainly not going to do anything to his ranking. He's going to be in first place with a huge lead, even with that mistake.
He collects his formula for parallel bars right there. He's got a couple bottles of rags, so he can do skills like that.
Beautiful. But watch his left hand there. He can't get it completely around the bar, and because he doesn't swing up, that means he has to swing forward and then back up to a handstand without executing any elements, and that's a no-no.
14.625, or certainly probably would have been over that 15 buffer, which would have been a big score, but again, really doesn't open the door at all for the next competitor, does he?
And he looks upset.
Yeah,
he does.
He looks shocked. I'm sure that's not something he does every day. Mykola Kuksenkov from Ukraine doctors up his parallel bars, gets ready to go, currently sitting in 8th place in the all-around.
Almost looked like his coach forgot he had to take the board out there for a second, looked over and said, oh yeah. Nice giant to a full spin on one arm. Here goes his smashing skill onto the bars. He's a compact gymnast, well, and that obviously will be a deduction. He was nowhere near finishing in the handstand on that skill. Same skill he did from a giant, a Diamondov, or a full spin on one arm. And this was just okay.
This is a fairly simple skill. It almost looked like he was planning on doing something more difficult there.
And watch, he's nowhere near a handstand. Legs come apart.
It looked like he wanted to go to that one bar.
It could have. And the all-important dismount has to be of high enough difficulty to not incur additional deductions, and his is. It's D-rated.
Mykola waiting for his score. He did score a 14.65 day one. I suspect it'll probably be close to that, a little bit lower, 14.2.
You open the door for deductions at this competition, and you know they're going to take them. That's all there is to it. As we were talking about on vaulting, sometimes they find more deductions than there appear to be. But when you blatantly spread your legs or completely miss a handstand position, pencil will go to paper.
All eyes are on this guy, Daniel Keatings. 2nd place all around right now. A huge surprise. Can he close the deal with 2 events left?
I tell you, if you walked up to him and said that he was going to be in 2nd place in the all-around at the Worlds after 4 complete rotations, he would say, no, that was my dream last night. That wasn't reality. I like this guy, though. Everything he does, he looks nice while he's doing it. Very similar to Kohei Uchimura. Nice line, beautiful toes. Look at that. A bygone trick that had a lot of status a long time ago called a stutz to a handstand, but he does it so well. Perfect handstand, body line.
Nice.
Good gymnast, very good.
Really, the only thing I noticed outright was that step on the landing, Tim.
This is release skill, a front 1 1/4, grabs and support, which makes it even more difficult, gets an extra 10th in his score for that.
So for Keating, the dream continues, and for Uchimura, the lead continues. We're going to see more from American Tim McNeil in a few moments. So if you're just pulling up to the campfire and you haven't heard the story, that man right there, Daniel Keatings, is one of the biggest stories of the 2009 World Championships. A 15.05 puts him in second place in the all-around competition, contending for the first ever all-around medal for Great Britain. And that man right there, Tim McNeil, has got a chance to do that as well, which would be a humongous surprise for most of the world. Currently sitting in third place after 4 rotations, one of his best events and one that he's got to nail and got to do well on if he wants to maintain that spot.
He could, I don't think he can move up really, but he can solidify his spot right now because this is a great event for Tim McNeil. Does a lot of underbar work, you'll see right here. Go underneath the bars, and that was not even close to a handstand. Big deduction. And right there, another, oh, that was scary. And he hit the bar again. This is very uncharacteristic. Tim McNeil. He's gonna wish he could do that one over, I'll tell you.
Gave away a lot throughout that routine from beginning to end.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't just one huge, well, there was a very big mistake off the top. He did that under bar swing coming up right here. Actually, no, this is a little later in the routine, but he missed a handstand completely.
That's a good view of that front one in the quarter. Kazuhito Tanaka from Japan, the biggest mover since the first rotation, started off in last place, but now sits in 5th place after 4 rotations. And again, an event that for the Japanese has been great for them. I'll never forget 2004 when they closed out that gold medal on this event. Is he following in the footsteps of those greats, Tim?
Well, actually, this is not his best event. He's good, and he does a very high difficulty combination right there, but he is not going to do the huge release skills that really make high bar exciting. A lot of ways to skin a cat, though, and he's going to get his bonus points through intricate turns like that. But really, not a strong event for this young man. Very clean, as virtually all the Japanese gymnasts are, but this is what you'd call kind of easy. But that's not bad. That's number 2 of the night. That's it. That's all we've seen.
He's doing it at the right time. 14.9 continues to keep him in the mix, and a 14.2. Very disappointing score for Tim McNeil. Almost a point lower than he scored in prelims.
That hurts a lot. And like I said, he is going to be wishing just somehow, give me another shot. Let me go again.
The night seems to be full of surprises, Tim, and this guy's another one of those. Yuri Razanov, 4th place.
I can't believe it.
At this point of the competition with 2 to go.
You know, he was 3rd in the European Championships a couple of times in the all-around, but he just has been inconsistent. He's actually remodeled his high bar a little bit. That's a new skill for him.
That's a little old school. That's a little Jair Lynch-esque right there from the 92 Olympics.
He's doing a great job today, I'll tell you. This is different here. These are called German giants. He'll swing around with his back to the bar. It's a requirement to do something like that in your exercise. But he goes a very different direction than most people. Just the dismount here. Ooh, that's early.
Oh, Tim, you called it.
Wow. Yeah, it's what we call a tap swing. The position right before you come through the bottom. And he just lets out his pike much too soon. But here, let's take a look at these German giants. He'll come up here and flip backwards. Feels great on your shoulders.
Yeah, the rotator cuffs love that one.
But watch this. Here's his dismount coming up here, and he should bring his toes well down below horizontal, and he doesn't, so it shoots him out a little bit and really hurts the rotation. That is a giant, giant deduction, that landing.
still manages to stay in fourth place, a 14.5, though not going to help him get closer to that third place spot. One more to go. 5 down, 1 to go, and we'll crown an all-around champion here in London. After 5 rotations, the lead still substantial, over 2 points for Kohei. Daniel Keating, the big surprise for Great Britain, trying to do what no British man has done before, win a medal in the all-around. And there is the man, as you said, Tim. Is he nervous? Does he know he's about to win a world championship?
He looks petrified.
There's Kuksenkov from Ukraine getting ready to go on the high bar, and he's not out of the mix either. He's got about a point out of third place, which seems like a lot, but could happen. There's Keatings, currently sitting in second place, also looks calm. These guys need to realize what's about to happen here, I think.
Yeah. But he'll do a big release called a full twisting Kovacs or a Coleman. Comes up right here. Very nice. Does this well. Ooh. Not today.
Certainly looked like he was close enough to grab the ball.
No, he was close enough. I don't know. It was something with his grip. And right there, as you see, he puts his wrist over the bar. And with a skill like that, there is no way you're going to be able to maintain grip on the bar.
You know, in other sports where if you miss the ball, you drop it, but here in gymnastics, you miss the bar and you come crashing down hard.
Yep, and his score crashes, 1 point deduction, and he gets no credit for that skill, which would have been a whole bunch of points. It's funny, you know, the World Championships after an Olympic Games, you know, as of late has really been bizarre. You know, there have been some people that do extremely well that you never see again. And there's a lot of opportunity if you're prepared to grab it.
Kuksenkov unfortunately couldn't quite grab it there on the high bar, and he had to do a perfect routine. As I mentioned, he was about a point out of third place. If he wanted that medal, not only did he have to be perfect, Tim, but he needed a little bit of help from those guys above him.
That's for sure, and he is out of the race right now with that high bar routine and that fall.
And if you haven't been following us since the beginning of the competition, you just saw Jonathan Horton chalking up there, and the reason why we haven't been following him the last few rotations is because he had a disastrous start on the floor exercise and the pommel horse, and really, for all intents and purposes, took him out of the competition right from the very beginning. But this man has done the exact opposite. He started completely out of the competition, is battling back and sits in third place, Tanaka, as he begins his floor exercise routine.
This floor exercise, though, is probably one of the hardest places with this code of points to get a big score. It's just there are so many opportunities where they can legitimately take a deduction. Beautiful double twisting double. They're going to get just a 10th on that. They ought to. And right there, very tricky pass, but if they want to, there are a bunch of places that they can scribble on their pad and make it a bad day for him.
And in the prelims, they did a lot of scribbling on their pad because he only scored a 13.075. If he wants to maintain that third spot, certainly he's going to have to be better than that.
Well, he does a lot of skills where he lands with his chest right by his knees, which can be up to 0.5 of a point off. And that skill right here, a new rule change. You are only allowed to do 2 skills that go into a rollout, and he has done them back to back. Triple full, but once again, he lands with his chest on his knees.
While that was happening, this man, the man we talked about earlier, having trouble on the first 2 rotations, had a little bit of trouble on the high bar as well, his best event.
His best event, and silver medal at the Olympic Games. Many thought that he should have gotten the gold over Zhu Kai of China, but it has just not been John's day. He's known for these high-flying releases. First one is fine. This one with a full twist. and off the bar.
A lot like Kukentsov that we just saw. Looked like he was close enough, but did put his hands on the bar.
He was. Yeah, I don't think he actually hit the bottom of his grip like we just saw, but I think he's just demoralized completely.
All eyes go to Keatings. If he hits, is it fair to say he's in top three?
I would say he's in control of his own destiny right here. Who'd have thunk it? The thing that impresses me is he looks unaffected with the situation that he's in at home, all of those circumstances. He doesn't do the huge flying release skills either. Nice Stalter in what we call dorsal grip. No easy way to say that. 6 for 6 in the O2 Arena. Could it be an omen?
The crowd loves it, and he could have made history for Great Britain right there. Should have and a world all-around medal with that performance. Unbelievable. Came in, did his job, just hit his routine. Maybe didn't knock the socks off while he did it, but
he was clean. Remember, he was the junior European all-around champion in 2008, and here he is, 2009. He's going to win a medal. There is nothing better. You know, all the gymnasts say, I just want to go out there and hit my routines, but beautiful form in the air. And finally, we see some kind of emotion. What a feeling.
Daniel Keatings getting congratulations from some of the other athletes and coaches. Finally sinking in what he accomplished. Score for Tanaka. Man, also knocking on the door of a medal of 14.65. About what you expected, Tim?
Just around.
Waiting for Daniel Keating's score of 14.475. Currently ranked first place. Obviously, there's some more athletes to come, but that is going to be very tough to have three athletes move ahead of him to knock him out of that.
For sure, but
top three.
He wasn't happy with that score. I think it was certainly fair, though.
Tim McNeil from the United States. 5th place after 5 rotations, rather. Impossible for him to move into the top 3, Tim, especially on this event, the high bar?
Well, I would say with what we have seen so far, everybody else is going to have to fall for him to make the top 3. This is not his best event either. He really shines on pommel horse and parallel bars, but he's a clean gymnast, and he's going to rely on that.
He really needed to have a lead, be in the top 3 and have a lead coming into this event, most likely.
After parallel bars, yeah. He really, if there's one place that he's going to wake up in a cold sweat, he's going to be thinking about that parallel bar routine.
But still a huge, huge surprise to be on the world scene, to be in the top 10.
So once again, not a high flyer. Started out with that release skill over the bar that actually was a little questionable. Oh, about as good as he can do. But John, I do not think it's going to be enough.
A great night nonetheless for Tim McNeil, and we will see that guy hopefully seal the deal when we come back. Tim McNeil getting a congratulations from his coach, Barry Weiner, giving us the old good night for Tim.
Yeah, there's no better feeling. It was a good exercise, once again, but doesn't have a ton of difficulty in it, and opened up the door in a few spots. But this 2009 World Championships was nothing but victory for this man.
And there's his rank 4th. Obviously, a couple gymnasts yet to go, but top 10 at the World Championships. I know I had the pleasure of being involved with the national team and selecting the world team, and when his name came up, we thought, man, maybe he'll make it in the all-around finals, and here he is, not only in the all-around finals, but top 10, and for the most of the night contending for an all-around medal. Outstanding. Here goes Yuri Razanov from Russia finishing up, and again, this guy in the mix to be in the top 3.
So let's see if he can do what he seldom does and get through with an entire 6 routines under his belt with no major falls. Powerful guy. Doing extremely well with the landings. He'll do a lot of flare work here.
Not a stranger to the all-around finals at the World Championships in 2007. He finished 13th, but certainly making an improvement on that tonight.
And this is a little atypical. Going back to the floor and doing another pommel horse type element, which really surprises me because it's exhausting. That work, those flares and those circles on the floor, very tiring. 2.5 twist and 6 for 6 for this young man. I don't know if he knows how well he's done today.
I think he's looking for oxygen at the moment. I think that's all he cares about. Will Yuri Razanov follow in the footsteps of the other 4 Russians who have won all-around medals, the most recent Nikolai Krukov in 1999 when he won the all-around title.
Yeah, 10 years.
And there he is in second place with a 14.5, and that will at least give him a bronze medal in the all-around with only Uchimura yet to go. He's the only man that can knock him down a slot. And we'll have to have a disaster on this event, Tim.
Yeah, no,
if he's not going to win.
Actually, I disagree, Johnny. He'd have to have like 3 disasters.
But that's a good point to bring up. Normally, the Japanese pull out all the stops. Tanaka was a little bit conservative, but this guy, do you think they had that conversation? Hey, take out a couple releases, just get up there and do your routine and get out of here?
In my opinion, with the Japanese, I don't think the conversation ever even occurred. But you'll be surprised when you see all that's in this routine, and he could do something so easy and win. Look at, wow, beautiful. And he doesn't just do it, he kicks out of it. Great lines. Here we go again. Oh, wow, that was fingertips. One more with a full twist.
Tim.
Oh, my. Right to the handstand. Holding back, not in his vocabulary.
Come on, Tim, say it. Ginormous.
Well, he is the champ right there. No question about it. And we will see much from this young man in the future.
Never in doubt. Silver in Beijing, gold in London. Could it be gold in London again in 2012?
Well, I have to say there's no question he is the front runner at this point. Makes gymnastics look just too darn easy, I'll tell you. Look at this now. He's going to kick out, open his body, and he's fingertips on that. Beautiful work.
The bar disappears from the picture. He's so high.
He'll do another one, the same thing, but he'll add a full twist to it on that second one. Right there, and looks for the bar. His knees stay perfectly together, which is so rare on that skill. But he'd have it no other way, I'll tell you. Look at picture perfect, like a pencil in the air. He's got to make one mistake. He's got to take a hop.
Looked like he pulled the chute maybe a hair earlier on that double-double. 14.975, the only gymnast over a 91. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is your 2009 World All-Around Champion, Kohei Uchimura.
The 2009 World Gymnastics Championships have been brought to you by AT&T, a proud sponsor of USA Gymnastics. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. By GK, the choice of champions. And by DGSGymSupply.com, your one-stop gymnastics supply shop.
Bill, and see how you can get a Bowflex home gym for as low as $10 a month.
I'm here at the GK Elite Sportswear booth, the premier name in gymnastics apparel, and I'm here with one of the premier names in the sport of gymnastics, Olympic silver medalist Alicia Sacramone. Now, Alicia, what do you look for when you're picking out a leotard?
Picking out a leotard is your own individual style, so I like to go with something a little bit more bright. Like, I love reds, but some girls like the darker colors. Then you have the rhinestones, which is always big with me, but it really just depends what you're looking for.
Any color, any fabric, any combination. You can even design it on a napkin, and GK Elite Sportswear will make it for you.
Found John's combination.
I told you she's an expert.
Gymnastics World Championships continues on Universal Sports.
This is what it's all about.
It's one of the best human stories.
As genuine as it gets.
It is just gigantic.
Oh! The fastest time in the world. He knocked the wall down. A new world record.
We are
Yes! Unbelievable!
Universal Sports Television, the Athletes Network.
And the results are in, and no, I'm not talking about the gymnastics competition. I'm talking about what all of you are anxious to find out. The AT&T Fanfare text poll results are in, and Tim, everybody's favorite event is the horizontal bar. But look at that, parallel bars making a big jump up there to 22%.
I know you don't like that.
I'm a big fan of the pommel horse, actually. That's probably my second favorite. But the horizontal bar wins. Thank you, everyone out there, for voting. We appreciate it, and thank you. And thank you, AT&T. And speaking of the high bar, that's the event we finished up on with the all-around champion, Kohei Uchimura, finishing with fireworks. And here's another look.
Just non-stop from start to finish. He might be, when his career is over, he might be one of the greatest.
That is a huge statement to say, because some of the greatest have already come from his country, so even in his own country to be the greatest is saying a lot. Final standings from the 2009 World Gymnastics Championships, and that's the man Kohei. And looking down the list, a lot of surprises. Daniel Keatings is a surprise. Yuri Rezanov is a surprise. And for that matter, Tim McNeil's a surprise. But also, Jonathan Horton in 17th is a huge surprise, Tim.
Yeah, we wouldn't have imagined it, but right out of the box, his first tumbling pass, bad way to start. Nastia Lukin is with 17th place finisher Jonathan Horton.
Obviously not the performance you were hoping to have tonight, but you still are looking forward to the finals on high bar. Tell me what was going through your mind tonight.
You know, I guess bottom line, it wasn't my world. I felt a little fatigued at the beginning. I tried to pull everything out of myself that I could. And, yeah, you know, I kind of knew things weren't good after the first two events, but I told myself, I'm not a quitter. I'm never going to quit. You can't convince me to ever stop trying my best. So, you know, I tried to finish up the meet with 4 good events. You know, so I did pretty well in the last 4. You know, I can't be upset with myself. It's World Championships. Things happen. You can only learn from it. And, you know, good thing I'm not retiring. So I'll come back another year. I'll be in this for a long time. So it'll light some fire in my heart, and I'll be working hard the next year.
And going into high bar finals on Sunday, what are your expectations for that?
You know, I always have high expectations for myself. High bar's one of my best events. Well, it is my best event. So I'm going to go out there. I'm going to do everything I can to win that gold medal and, you know, represent the United States to the best of my ability.
Thank you, John. Good luck.
And kind of a polar opposite from Jonathan Horton is Tim McNeil. You almost could say he had a top 10 victory in ways. A big surprise. And earlier, Nastia was with him.
Stick to it.
Okay. Congratulations, a 7th place finish for you at your first World Championships. How did you feel out there tonight?
I was just really excited the whole time, and I was just pumped. I prepared really well for this meet, so I knew I was really ready, and I just had to go out there and do my routines just like I do in practice every day. And I feel like for the most part that's what I did, so I'm really happy with how everything went.
And you have the Pommel Horse Finals on Saturday. How are you mentally preparing for that?
I'm still kind of taking in all this for the all-around, but when I get back tonight, I'm gonna go right to some visualization, some mental preparation. But I've already accomplished more than what I've wanted to so far at this World Championships, so I'm just gonna really let it all out on Pommel Horse Finals. Whatever happens, happens.
Congratulations and good luck on Saturday.
Thanks a lot.
So Tim, that man right there is going to be tough to beat. Who's going to contend with him? I know Fabian didn't get a chance to tonight. Can he hang with the big dog from Japan?
I would say he can come close, but if Uchimori is as good as he was today, he's going to be hard to beat. Certainly without Chinese representation, though, they were so dominant the last Olympic Games.
We will see more from that man in the years to come. A lot of surprises here in London. And that guy is proud of that gold medal. Thank you for listening.
Is your